Hello, welcome to the video. Today we're going to be talking about the SDP. I'm sure most of you have heard of the SDP, especially the older viewers today. It was a party that split from the Labour Party in the 1980s, and it was supposed to be a mass political party. It failed, it collapsed, okay? It died. It was going to be confined to the dustbins of political history until 2018. That was when a conservative or a former conservative councillor called William Clouston was elected leader of the SDP. Okay, it previously had lost a local vote against the Monster Raving Loony Party. Again, it was going to be confined to the dustbins of political history until this man came along and essentially completely rebranded the party in 2018. Okay, so what happened? Well, he made the party into a pro-Brexit party. He reached out to contacts in the news. He tried to get as much buzz around the party as possible. And he succeeded in terms of being able to get more people to join. But ever since 2018, the party has been growing quietly, okay, slowly and steadily since 2018. And not many people have heard of this party or this new Social Democratic Party. Most people know who the SDP are in the 1980s, but not this new Social Democratic Party. It's a very different political beast entirely. Okay, he made it a pro-Brexit party. And he made the red in the SDP stand for left-leaning economics, and the blue stand for social conservatism. Now, who are the other members of the SDP? Well, you've got Rod Liddle, who joined the SDP. You've got Patrick O'Flynn, who defected from the UKIP party and joined the Social Democratic Party. So he's been able to grow this party very slowly, quietly, steadily. And the SDP is similar to the Workers' Party in the last video. Their goal is to exploit the weaknesses of the Labour Party and eventually to take votes away from them. Their goal is also to take votes away from Conservative voters. That's why a pact I'm sure many of you haven't heard of, that the SDP has signed with Reform UK, has been signed for this general election. They've signed an electoral pact with Reform UK, where some SDP candidates are going to stand down for Reform and vice versa. Okay? This has happened. An electoral pact has been signed between William Clouston and Richard Tice. So there's no doubt that William Clouston is an intelligent man. He is an intelligent man. He's been able to rebrand this basically, he was able to basically bring alive this corpse of a political party and completely rebrand it. And he succeeded in that. And I joined the political party, actually. I'm very sympathetic and I support a lot of the policies of the party. And I joined it after I left the Workers' Party because the parties are actually very similar. I wanted a party that was relatively social conservative, but had that left-wing, left-leaning economics, right? That's why I really want to focus on the economics. I'm not as fussed when it comes to kind of, social conservatism. I am very sympathetic towards the idea of blue-collar conservatism, which is a big thing that the SDP stands for. And when I joined the party, similar to Workers' Party, it's full of people who want to change things. People from humble backgrounds, good people. In the SDP, a lot of people in the SDP come from former business backgrounds, former military backgrounds, and they want to change things. A lot of them used to vote Labour. They don't anymore. They want a new political party, and that's why they're joined. And that's why a lot of them are standing as candidates this coming election. And I doubt you will hear too much from the SDP this election. But if they are able to achieve their objectives, and I reckon they will achieve their objectives, which is to stand 100 candidates this election, they will be able to have a party political broadcast this election coming. So I think we're all going to find out who the SDP are, whether you've watched this video or not, basically. They're coming up very quietly, very steadily, and not many people know who they are, but they're coming up, and they're going to be a huge political party soon, just like the Workers' Party is planning on being. The SDP also has a £1 million funding. I went to the conference this year. They have had £1 million and they're going to be having more money coming through from a benefactor. They've now got money. They can, and why do they need money? They need money to stand candidates. They can stand candidates everywhere. They will be a political force, whether people like it or not. Okay, they're set to become one. So you could ask, well, why did I leave the SDP? Well, a big reason why I left the SDP and the Workers' Party is a big reason why I've made this project. Okay, because I believe the Labour Party does need saving. And throughout this project, we're not just going to be talking about the Labour Party and the problems with it and where I think it's going wrong and what needs fixing. I'm also going to be talking about parties like this one, the SDP, Workers' Party, because I was part of these parties. I know how they work. I know the people in them. I understand their functions and I understand their objectives. I go to their conferences, I listen to their speeches. I listen to the people at their conferences. Someone called Matthew Goodwin was at their recent conference. Very, very influential person, especially in the kind of conservative scene. Now, I personally am not a massive supporter of complete social conservatism. I'm far more directing my focuses on the problems with neoliberalism, right? That's a big thing for me. The problem we're facing in this country is neoliberalism. But I did join the SDP because I wanted to join a political party that was basically centre ground, but the polar opposite of the Liberal Democrats. Okay, a party that would represent working people, that was realistic. So that kind of social conservatism feeds into that realism, which I believe in. But I wouldn't call myself a conservative personally. I would call myself a realist, and I think a lot of people do. I think conservatism, just like calling yourself a socialist, it has very negative connotations. So both socialism and conservatism have very negative connotations. We're going to be talking about this in other videos. But back to the SDP, basically. The SDP are looking to exploit the fact that Labour has kind of moved away from its heartlands. They want to take chunks of the red wall seats. That's their objective. They're basically a communitarian UKIP. Patrick O'Flynn was very much in the communitarian faction within the UKIP party. Okay, so that's basically what the SDP are, a communitarian UKIP. Left-leaning economics, right? Reindustrialisation, something I support, something the Workers' Party also believes in, reindustrialising our country, okay? Renationalising our railways, something the Labour Party's actually put forward recently. I think that's a good move from Starmer. Also kind of combined with this social conservatism, anti-woke politics, basically. Again, very different from the 1980s SDP. And again, we're going to have to talk more about this in detail. I don't have the time to talk about everything I want to tell you about the SDP. I know a lot about it. Obviously, I'm not going to be naming names or anything, but I want to be talking about the actual ideology, the aims, the goals of the SDP. What are they going to do? Are they going to achieve them? Well, like I said before, they get 100 candidates this election. They'll get a party political broadcast. You'll find out who they are yourself. You'll see it. And they're also fielding a candidate in this London mayoral election, Amy Gallagher, former nurse. So things are really kind of accelerating politically at the moment. This is why I started this project. Okay, I was part of the Workers' Party. I was part of the SDP. I left both of them. And I left the Workers' Party because I didn't really agree with their foreign policy. It was too pro-East. I think George Galloway's politics is firebrand. I don't think it has the ability to really, get people up and involved with politics. I just don't think he has that kind of charisma about him. He's a very charismatic person, and he does get support when he needs it. But I don't think I can really support or continue to be in the Workers' Party. Similar to, I can't really support or be involved in the SDP either. I think that immigration policy is way too extreme. I think that trying to limit net migration in total to 50,000, it's just too low. It can't be done. And if it was to be done, I think extreme measures would have to be taken to get it over the line, that policy. And I don't think that's the kind of measures that the people particularly want in this country. I think both parties have their problems, and that's why I left, and that's why I rejoined the Labour Party, because I do believe in hope in the Labour Party. I also believe the SDP policy, although it's very independent, is still too Western. So if Workers' Party is too Eastern, SDPs is too Western. I think if we reindustrialise our country, like both parties say, we could become a great power. But we could also become an independent power. We wouldn't have to bow down to anybody. We could do business with any country and still maintain the rights that we have, the social cohesion we have. I think we should be looking at trying to unite the country. And that was one of the SDP's talking points as well, just like the Workers' Party. They want to unite the country over a kind of one kind of policy or another. And it's something I support as well. I support a lot of what the Workers' Party and the SDP say, but I think the Labour Party has a real chance now to actually reform itself and become the party of Labour. I really do believe that. So although there's good people in both the SDP and the Workers' Party, and they've got good policies in both parties, I couldn't particularly be involved in both of them at this current point. I want to try it within the Labour Party. I want to see the Labour Party change for the better. That's what I want. That's why I created this project. I have hope in the Labour Party. And I do believe in reducing immigration. I do. I also do believe in fighting kind of some woke aspects as well. I think in a lot of instances, woke politics has gone too far. It's just gone too far. And we have to call that out when it happens. But I think focusing too much on kind of that kind of social liberalism, I think takes away from the bigger beast that I'm going to keep coming back to, which is globalisation, which is neoliberalism, which is what Tony Blair and Thatcher did. They sold off our industry. Okay, they basically made us a very weak country and made themselves very, very rich. Okay, that's the problem. Our politicians do not care about our country or the people in our country. They don't care about social cohesion. They care about money. That is all they care about, money. And we have to turn the tide now. Now, if that's going to happen for the SDP, so be it. If it's going to happen for the Workers' Party, so be it. Okay? Perhaps I was a fool to leave. Some people in the Workers' Party say I'm a fool to leave them. Some people in the SDP would think I'm a fool to leave them as well. But I have hope in the Labour Party because it's what my family have always voted for. A lot of my family believe in it. And that's why I rejoined it, because, it is the party that I was brought up to support. And I'm rejoining it because of that. And I want to save it. I want to make the Labour Party the party of Labour again. Thank you very much for watching the video. And we're going to be talking a lot more about the SDP and a lot more about the Workers' Party. And of course, we're going to be talking a lot about the Labour Party and what needs fixing. Thank you.